This episode of Unscripted is brought to you by Dubby. Dubby is an energy drink that doesn't cause any jitters and gives you a bunch of energy to get all your gaming done, and it energizes me to do Unscripted. So use code Krooked Does Stuff at dubby.gg and you'll get your own Dubby for 10% off, and you can also find a link in the description down below. So thank you, Dubby, for sponsoring this episode, and here's Unscripted. Hello, everyone. I am Krooked, and I do stuff. And this is Unscripted, the series where I take a completely unscripted look at games and give it a 1 through 10 rating. Today, we're playing Brunswick World Champion. I'm a bowler. Well, I was for a long time, anyway. I originally joined a bowling league when I was just a wee lad of 6 years old. And, I did that for a long time, about 13 years, and it's been a long time. I stopped bowling after a while, but yeah, I liked to bowl. It was a lot of fun, and okay, I don't know what. Okay, yeah, let's go into a tournament. We're gonna go to just the Brunswick tournament. Oh, no, I wanted to play as me. Can I go back? Okay. Yeah. No. Yeah, okay. Okay. Okay, so I can't do that. Let's just go the Quantum Open, yeah. So, contrary to popular belief, bowling isn't a sport that's all about, like, hooking the ball as much as you can. The straighter you can throw a ball, it's usually the best. Oof. Okay. So, ideally, standing right here, no spin at all. That's not how that should have went. That's fine. I'm gonna learn. It's something that like a lot of people don't know about. If you stand on the second dot, if you're right-handed, if you stand on the second dot on the right and you throw out the second arrow, and you don't put any spin on the ball, technically you should get a strike. That just threw it directly into the gutter. So this isn't the most accurate of bowling. It's the same as if you're left-handed. You stand on the second dot, you throw it at the second arrow, and you should get a strike. That's the simple way to explain bowling. That looked pretty good. Yeah, see, there you go. And that's bowling in a nutshell. Of course, it's not always that simple, and naturally, when you throw a ball, it's going to kind of hook, depending on how you come off of the ball. So, if you're really good at controlling it, you can hook the ball, and you can get a really, really good release off of it. If not, well, you end up not being that fantastic, and that's when it all comes into play. So when you are bowling, what? That's the same place I've been standing. Dumb. So when you are bowling, those are pretty much the main factors. I'm gonna try to make it okay. So let's do it this way. No spin. Okay, just threw it in the gutter again, so I'm too far right. Amazing to go from the throw that I just did to that. So let's talk about the controls of this game. Okay, so let's try this. They're all really, really basic controls. I'm using B to select what I want. Brooklyn side works. And then I move my character with the D-pad, obviously. And you move where you want to aim with the L and R buttons. Ooh, I didn't really want the spin on that. Oh, no, that's a really bad split. Gross. So, on a situation like this, yeah. Still trying to get as little spin as possible. God, why do you always throw it in the gutter? I think I have it figured out. It throws it in the gutter. So controls-wise, I mean, it's really, really, really basic. There's nothing here that requires really a lot of skill or anything else. Y, X, and A all do nothing at all. It's pretty much as basic as you can get it. And it follows the physics of bowling remarkably well, honestly. Oh, it's so weird. So, graphics-wise, or not graphics-wise, control-wise, it's a bowling game, and it does it really well. And if you know how to bowl, it's actually pretty realistic. Like I said, if you throw it here and you have as little spin as possible on it, technically it should be hitting more on the right side with where I'm aiming, but because I know where to aim, I can essentially get a strike every single time. And again, you can do this in normal bowling if you follow these principles. However, as I said, it's a lot easier said than done because you naturally will throw with hook and it'll cause this. So that's why bowlers try to compensate for hook and learn, like, hey, if I'm going to hook the ball, let's reliably hook it every single time. It's a lot easier in a video game because you don't need to compensate for anything. And I feel like I got ripped off with that one. Probably threw it too hard. Believe it or not, you can throw a bowling ball too hard. I knew a guy who would just crank it down the alley, and when he did, it would make the pins basically explode. But they would all miss where they're supposed to hit. So yeah. Control-wise, I mean, it's really, really simple controls. Sound-wise, I kind of like the soundtrack. It's not that bad. It's, whoa, that's a bad throw. It's relaxing. It's kind of, you know, what you'd expect to hear in a bowling alley, honestly. Of course, that's not what you hear anymore, because now you go to a bowling alley, and if you're playing on a global night, you're hearing probably modern-day music. If you're going on a non-glow bowling night, you're probably not hearing music, because it's seen as a distraction to the bowlers. But, okay. It hates me. I try to do the same thing every single time, and I guess it's like pixel perfect. I'm going to try to do it where I can just go all the way to the right and learn. Okay. There we go. So, yeah, sound-wise, it's perfectly fine. It sounds like a good bowling game. Oh, the 10-pin? Really? Okay. So, then we get to graphics. Honestly, there's not much to say about a bowling game's graphics, right? If it looks like you're throwing a ball down the lane, it's good graphics. It actually has a nice little 3D animated thing for grabbing the ball out of the ball return, and for whenever you get like a strike, he kind of does this little animation. I honestly think it's pretty good graphics for what it offers. A lot of animations for the actual taking down of pins. it's not in any way a bad game. I think it's a little bit too easy to kind of cheat the system. Again, if you know where to throw, blah, 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 you'll get it. It's not like in a football game or a basketball game where you basically need to have skill because you're playing against other people. Oh god, that's a lot of spin. There is a skill cap in a bowling game, of course. But the only person that you're really competing with yourself, or the only person you're competing with, is yourself. And in bowling, on a normal alley, there's oil and different oil patterns on the lane, and that's what prevents your ball from hooking or making it hook more, blah, 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 blah. Which is why I say again, the more straight you can throw a ball, the better you're going to be. And everyone I've ever went bowling with doesn't believe me. Ever. They're like, no, that's not accurate. That's not accurate. And I tell them every single time, because I'm a better bowling coach than I am a bowler myself, because I hook the ball. I always tell them, stand on the second dot, throw at the second arrow. If you do it right, you're going to get a strike every time. And they never believe me. And then they stand on the second dot, throw out the second arrow, and they get a strike, and they go, holy shit, that worked. And that's bowling. So overall, I mean, this game is really, really easy. If you do the same basic stuff every single time, you're going to get a strike every single time. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It just works every single time. You saw, since I did it, I was able to just nail it every single time and get a ton of strikes. And yeah, that's basically how it works in real life if you can nail it every single time. In video games, I like to have a little bit more challenge. I like it to be where you can't just hit the spin every single time without an issue. You can't hit the power every single time without an issue. So it's a little bit disappointing there. And I don't think there's much replayability if you do get it down, because you're going to be just knocking it out of the park every single time. I got like, what, a 260 here, basically. And that threw me right up to the top of the tournament without even trying. So, oh, it does actually have oil patterns. So yeah, very, very cool that it includes that. So there is a sense of difficulty, and you can ramp it up yourself if you want to by actually implementing spin into your throw, and then you can try to, beat it that way and learn how you're going to beat it that way. If I was playing this, I'd be going for 300s every single time, just because that's the highest score you can get in bowling. And, it makes you feel good when you get the highest possible score every single time. So, for a score, I got ripped off. I didn't throw it hard enough. So, for a score, I mean, it is accurate to bowling. It is a pretty decent game. Will you have fun if you're interested in bowling? Yeah, for sure. I've enjoyed this pretty much the entire time I've been playing it. I think it's a pretty decent game. So, will it get someone who's not into bowling? No. Because they're just going to be like, okay, throw the ball, spin it, blah, blah, blah. It's not really going to change much. So, with all that being said, I think it's definitely a 7 out of 10. It is fun. It has its merits. A little bit too easy, and the music could have a bit more to it. It's also kind of weird because it doesn't explain how to get into certain tournaments and stuff. But if you're looking for a game where you get to just bowl and have a at least somewhat realistic experience of what bowling is, this is it. So, with all of that being said, oh man, I'm having a lot of problems. There we go. Comment down below. Oh god, that's a lot of power. Let me know what your experience with bowling is. Like this video if you enjoyed what you saw, and hit that subscribe button so that way you never miss out on an episode of Unscripted. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so that way you'll be notified whenever a new episode of Unscripted does come out. And with all that being said, I do want to thank you for watching Unscripted, and I will see you on the next episode. Bye!